It's time! Oh, yeah!
Welcome to the Joy Buzzer.
Could it be? Could it be? It is out of here!
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
At the 20, at the 15, 10-foot touchdown!
My brain just sparkles.
And now for our feature presentation.
Machine Gostis fair. Puck taken over now by Cirelli. He was the hero of the earlier meeting. Hands it down to Killorn with the shot. Scores! Alex Killorn just
What the hell?
wins the game.
Give me a hell, give me a yeah. This is the Joy Buzzer Insanity Show. Nikki Cola.
Insanity show? I like that.
You know why it's
We're going
insanity?
crazy.
This is the Instigator Repsy.
You know what the definition of insanity is, right?
What is it?
When you keep doing the same goddamn thing over and over and expecting a different result. And that's what our Fly guys have been doing. That's why it's Flyers Insanity Night tonight. Which is why I'm wearing my Flyers freaking
I'm all fired up over here.
I'm fired up. I'm wearing the what do they call it? The straight jacket here. I got my Flyers straight jacket on. I'm freaking going. Chris Steve's driving me crazy.
I concur.
And if you want to join us in this madhouse
Oh,
of
wait a
orange
minute.
and
We got other
black,
things to talk about. First, number one, it's Friday night. It's Joy Buzzer time. We're in beautiful Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Cherry Hill, New
Here in
Jersey.
downtown Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Downtown again?
Or on top of Cherry Hill. One or the other.
Oh.
Your choice. I am
know,
the
I'm
commish.
crazy.
This is the Joy Buzzer live on YouTube.
It's our last show before the new year.
Right. And Nick, where else do they find us besides YouTube?
They can find us on iTunes and Stitcher. Is where you'll find all of our 65 episodes. We have,
Really?
I think so. I think we're up to 65.
65.
I think
A little crazy.
it's
And if
spectacular.
you chuckleheads out there want to give us a ringy dingy,
Yeah, join us in the madhouse.
right. Instigator, what's the phone number?
It's 856-330-4749. That's 856-330-4749.
And as you can all see, where we are intern light tonight, as a little jerk off is working.
Oh, no. He's here in spirit. Right, intern? There he is. There he is.
And just so you all know, if you do happen to see the intern, smack him in the back of the head because Little Putz won fantasy football.
Yeah, hold on.
Hey, let's do that up. Oh, wait, we got a caller already?
What?
Maybe.
Do we?
We do.
All right, let's go
Let's
to the
put
phones.
it up on the madhouse.
Let's go to the phones.
Hello.
Caller, you're on the air. Who is this? Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you not tell who it is?
We know who it is.
Oh,
You
what's
don't know
going
who
on
it
up,
is?
Rob?
It's your nephew, dumbass.
What? That crazy nephew of mine is all fired up. It's the great Chris
I'm so
Trainer.
fired up.
It's the great
Yes, it
Chris
is.
Trainer. Yes, it is. Snakes and Vultures. Lead singer. When's the next gig?
When's that check?
Yeah. You know what? I'll hold off on that because yeah. So the Flyers, I say burn it down.
Burn it to
Burn
the
it
ground.
down. So you're
Burn
cleaning.
it down. Why not?
You're cleaning
you keep
house.
Provorov, you keep Haig, you keep Konechny, maybe Patrick, but burn it down. Why not? Carter Hart, of course, but burn it down.
I'm with
Why
you.
not?
I've been saying this for how long? That all these veterans got to go. They got to go. They're done.
That's it.
You don't keep any veterans at all.
No, what for? They suck.
They don't
That's it.
suck.
They suck.
Chris, do they suck?
Oh, they don't suck.
They
They just
suck.
can't win with what they have, and they don't like. I
That's-
mean, Carter Hart's not ready yet, and they don't have a goalie. And you're not going to win anything with Andrew McDonald or Radko Gudas. It's just not going to happen.
So how do you feel
let's
about
turn it down.
throwing? How do you feel about throwing Carter Hart to the Lions for the rest of the year, and letting him get his lumps in the NHL?
No.
Why not? I mean, like he even said, bring me up. Like, okay, you want to come up? Come up. Do it.
Hey, Chris, did you watch the game last night?
I caught a little bit of it, but Neuwirth played.
This is
Carter,
a rock star
Carter
you're
Hart didn't
talking.
play.
You know what he was doing? He was banging hookers and eting cake. That's what this guy is doing.
Eating
This is a
cake?
rock star you're talking to.
Bitches and cake?
Bitches and cake.
Who's Cake?
I thought you were going to say hookers and blow, so I'm glad you said cake.
No. My man's turned over a new
I
leaf.
know he has.
I love the kid.
He's a good dude.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm torn on the Carter Hart thing, whether or not to leave him up here and just let him go or put him back down in the minors, let him grow.
And real quick, Mr. Peterson, welcome to the show, buddy. It's good to see
Yes,
you too, pal.
Mr. Peterson.
So let me ask you something. From what you saw last night during the game, if Carter Hart starts that game, do you think the Flyers win?
I think they've been on a decent roll with him. He hasn't won every game he started, but as far as I've seen, like the games that he's played in, whether it's because of his play or whether it's just because of the chemistry with the team when he's on the ice. Why not?
Yeah.
And you're playing against the best team in hockey too. Essentially,
They've been playing on another level with Hart and net because they don't want to leave him out there to dry. You would wreck that kid's confidence if they've been playing the way they've been playing with him and net, letting in 6 goals.
Why is there a difference then? Why do you play harder for a certain goaltender? Why can't you give that effort every game?
Because they know what they have with them.
Chris?
Yeah,
What do you got?
that, and because it's like, I think every guy in that locker room and all the coaches know that like this is like disarray right now, and it has been for even last year. Like, and you just have to, again, if I was somebody there, like you would have to know, like, all right, well, I'm on the chopping block, so. And to see somebody like that come in and with that attitude and go into that team, maybe, it makes you gives you a little bit more of an impetus to try harder.
Yeah, I mean, Drew was saying that earlier when Ron Hextall got canned. The players have to feel like it's somewhat their fault because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Somebody lost their job. So I'm guessing they didn't want that to happen again. But
And see, Mr. Peterson agrees. They have the best chance of winning with Hart between the pipes. I agree. And hello, Miss Frazier. He is young and has a lot of energy, and we're all excited for him to be there, not just him. I think we're better with him in net, and I think that would have been proven last night if they'd started him. I'm not saying
I do, but Norfolk had a great game. We won in a shootout. When
stop
does that?
saying Norris had a great game. The Rangers suck out loud too.
It's a
Don't
division
go
game.
there.
We won in a
Don't
shootout.
go there.
When did we win in a shootout?
You're praising a goalie who's Swiss cheese, who, like I told you on the phone, broke his neck looking behind him watching the pucks go by. Don't do that.
He won us a shootout.
Oh, so what?
Chris, how do you
the
feel
Flyers
about this?
don't win in a
You
shootout.
could win us a shootout.
No, I
against the
couldn't.
Rangers.
If I'm wearing a Flyers jersey, no.
No, you just can't score on them. You could stop the other team.
Oh,
from
no, you
scoring.
never stop the other team.
Hold on, Chris. Do you think that this team has a death wish? Yes, death wish. Snakes and vultures, crank it up.
Nice.
Do it.
Oh, that's funny. If especially Sean didn't hate me enough already.
You can't see him rolling his eyes.
Chris, I don't hate you. I just don't like you. No, I'm kidding.
But this
Hate's
team,
a strong word.
this team needs to get blown up. I agree with Chris.
No, I agree 100%, Chris.
This team, we have to have a death wish for this team.
And
Well,
thank you,
to
Mr.
be
Peterson.
honest, like the team should have been blown up a few years ago because they should have done everything in their power to try to get the McDavid pick, and they didn't do that. So
They've been trying to. The young guys are they're in that window right now where it's either they make it or they break. It's definitely, some of them have been on the team for a couple of years now, and it's time to see, you know, is we need someone in there that can coach Nolan Patrick, Travis Konechny, see what these kids can do.
Well, let's hope too that the goal that Provolone put in last night is a start, is a kickstart.
He needs to,
because he's been blowing dog.
Yeah,
lately.
he's been having a very bad season.
He has not been very good.
Yeah,
so let's hope this is the start to him.
Him getting up. Those other Gosta Spears been playing better. He's been playing better.
I am a fan of Robert Hagg and Travis Sanheim.
Big time.
I like them. I like what they do.
Sanheim.
Hagg is a big dude.
Yep.
We need a big defenseman.
And you saw that goal last night. That was a blast that he scored on. It was a blast.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. The 4 young defensemen we got, we can build with them.
Yes.
Gosta Spears a little bit of a defensive liability, though. I mean, like, he's got offensive pop. Like, he's a guy that you can throw in the first power play. But, I mean, own end liability. So then you know, if you're going to build with him and have him be an asset, then you're going to have to put
he's got to get
a
better.
stay-at-home guy in there too. And you know, it kind of sucks now because you see it in hockey in general where there's really, I mean, because I wouldn't know exactly how to quantify Brett Burns' defense, but there's really not like a Pronger style defenseman, like a guy who can score like 80 to 90 points in a season and be great in his own end.
The only guy is Weber out there right now for Nashville.
You'll never see that.
Yeah, those big defensemen.
Mr. Peterson, next year the new look young, fast Flyers, I agree with 100%.
Yeah.
But
that's
guys
why,
like, we named Raffle and Vorsak and Gudis and Simmons, they've got to go.
You need a guy like Raffle on the team.
Why?
We talked about this before. You're not going to get 12 all-star players on your team.
You don't need 12 all-star
Michael
players.
Raffle's an AHL player.
At best.
Like the other thing, too, it's kind of unfair for Jake Voracek to call him Jake Voracek and not call Michael Raffle Michael Awful.
That's good.
Very
You
nice.
know what,
That's good.
Chris? I'm going to now, buddy.
I mean,
Very nice.
I'm going to do that
I
now.
think that's like.
I think
It's
the
a little
nephew
bit
deserves
unfair.
a ding for that.
I think so. Give
was
the Neff his ding.
Ding.
There he is.
He gets a ding for that.
That's a good one. I like that, Chris.
And it was
I'm
definitely-
stealing that, buddy, just so you know.
I do
Oh,
agree.
go right ahead.
I do agree with the Ghost thing. He is a liability a little bit, but that's why last year when, you know, McDonald was playing better, he was playing like a veteran, and Gudis was playing well. When they were partnered up, it worked well because Ghost was going up to score.
I got a question.
Easy. Ghost was going up to score, but you had the defenseman that was going to stay back. You got two, like Provorov likes to score too.
I got a question.
You put both of them on the line together, they're both up in the offensive zone trying to score. You have no defense.
Question.
Go ahead.
Question. When the hell did Gudis and McDonald play well last year?
Oh man!
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What's
Oh, jeez.
what's
Here
good
we
as
go.
what's good as his
Here we
plus
go,
minus
Chris.
this year?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. What
It's
Gudis got.
when you caught the
There we
leprechaun
go.
on St. Patrick's Day.
Gudis, I'm pretty sure, has been the most rounded player on our defense right now.
Why? Because he ate the extra pizza?
Chris, what do
Did
you
he go
say
to
about that, buddy?
Look at the
What,
stats.
did you just say Gudis has been the most well-rounded?
Look at the stats.
Okay,
he's been
but
the guy.
it's still
He's been the
like,
guy that hasn't
okay,
hurt us.
stats can be like, all right, the dude puts up hits, and then he might have a decent plus-minus, but it's like
He has
still,
a,
it's
he has
like
a very good
when
plus
you say,
minus.
oh, Gudis has been the most well-rounded, it's like, yeah, probably the most consistent with his skill set.
Right.
He's still not like a guy that it's like if you want to pick 6 defensemen to have on your team, he's not going
Oh,
to
he's
be,
not. He's not an
you
all-star.
know, like even assuming you're not getting the 6 best guys, like he's not a guy that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I want him in my starting lineup.
he's definitely not an all-star. But
Yeah,
out of
and
our
especially with the way the NHL is now, it's like everybody's fucking fast.
Right.
And the Flyers just aren't. Like the Flyers, like you watch a team, you know, like Pittsburgh
Tampa.
a
Like Tampa.
couple years ago,
Tampa
and
last night.
you know the
Tampa
last
last
couple
night.
of years or whatever, and then you know you watch a team like Nashville or whoever, and you see that these guys are just like doing laps around teams like the Flyers
Right.
because it's just the style of play.
Right.
Or you look
turner-
at a guy like Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is the best player in
that-
hockey,
yeah,
but
that
it's
guy's
not
just-
a thing where he just puts up tons of. It's like you look at him and you look at him skate, and you just see him just go by everybody, dude.
That
Like,
guy's
he,
on
like,
another level.
He completely passes defenders,
Right.
and
the way
the
these
Flyers
teams
just
turn
don't
around
have
these
that.
days,
Like they don't have it.
the counters that teams can put up is you need to be fast now.
well, that they were saying Tampa's fast strike is insane. I mean,
And they proved it last night.
Yes.
That second goal of theirs was just absolutely amazing.
The overtime goal.
Yeah.
The overtime
Yeah,
goal was a giveaway.
they popped
that
it
they went from defense to offense.
off of
in
who?
a second.
Ghost. Didn't Ghost give that up?
Yeah,
Right. And Tampa Bay also has secondary scorers. Like the Flyers don't have secondary scorers. The Tampa Bay has
They are a one-line
at
team.
least 3 lines that are dangerous, and they can put their third line up against the Flyers' first line and be a plus on the ice.
And that's always
Like
been the
that's
thing.
that's a problem.
That's been the thing for the Flyers the past couple of years, though. It's always been their fourth line that contributes the most. Where it's like we don't have a quality second and third line, but you have the Raffle line, the fourth line that's scoring.
I know, awful.
They don't really score either. That's
This is
a
definitely
little bit of an over exaggeration there.
This is
like
definitely true.
of them actually scoring. Like again, if you want to actually go to stat lines, go to
last-
stat lines
last
for the
year.
Flyers. It's like you're you're saying like, oh, he's a fourth line guy, this and that. Like essentially, like when you get on the ice like that, it doesn't matter. It's like you're getting moved. Lines are set up based on necessity and strategy rather than like, okay, well, this is the second line, this is a third line, this is a fourth line. Like it's a little bit, especially with it being like a speed game the way it is now, where
I mean,
maybe your checking line or your fourth line is a little bit more obvious with the players you have on there. But again, it's just like there's no depth. There's no depth for the Flyers, and it's a shame because they do have decent players that they don't have on the first line. It's just that it's all the other complimentary dudes. Like Simmons is a good player, but he's not like a great skater, but he's a good player. Like he's a really good player, but they just have nothing. They got nothing for those dudes.
He's another JVR. We have two of the exact same players that they can't figure out how to use them. I think that's our biggest problem.
Simmons is much more physical than JVR is.
But yeah,
he's gotta go.
Where they play, they both plant themselves right in front of the net and go for the deflections.
JVR, gotta go.
Out of here.
I'm telling you
I
guys.
mean, JVR had
this is it. Just blow this team up. Let's just blow this team up.
JVR had a massive year last year.
So, all right. So, what's the plan for next year? If you blow this team up, you keep the rookies. Do you bring in better veterans? Would that be part of the plan?
Oh, you have to.
It's where you place them too. I don't think for the past couple of years they haven't been good at building the correct lines. I mean,
was that a Hextall problem? Do you think that fixed?
I don't
now
know, but Hextall was the guy that moved Couturier to center and threw Giroux on the wing, which has been huge. I mean, Giroux had his best season ever in the NHL last year as a winger, not as a center line. I think it's some of the players are there. They just don't know how to use them.
So does that make them extra
as
trade
much as
value
that's
now?
true, though, it's kind of like like it's great. Like Giroux had his first year with more than 100 points, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's like okay, that's a great individual accomplishment, and yeah, it has to do with like putting him on a line with Couturier and whoever's on the wing. But it's at the end of the day, it's like, how much does that matter? And like, how much more of this can you tolerate? Like where, Giroux put up 110 points this year. Oh yeah, but we are the 8th seed and we got knocked out of the playoffs in the first round.
So is he
in
trade bait?
5 games.
Now
It's
that he put those points up.
That's why it's like, do you want to keep going through this, or do you just want to start over?
Is he
like,
trade
I'd rather
bait?
just start over.
Giroux.
Claude Giroux,
you trade
got
to.
to.
Do you trade
Because right
Giroux?
now,
I think last
you
year
can get something for him.
I think last year
Not a lot.
last year playoffs weren't supposed to happen. So the fact that they did, this team now looks like it's behind. Whereas they weren't supposed to touch the playoffs, they weren't supposed to sniff the playoffs last year. So the fact that we got in and now how this season started off makes it seem like that they're in a heap load of trouble when in reality they may not be. They may be where they're supposed to be.
Well,
at.
it's too early in the season to determine. All right, well, this team isn't going to the playoffs. But it's one of those things where it's not about like,
wait a minute, Chris.
Okay,
Chris.
well, we could not make it to the playoffs this year, or like we could make it. It's the fact is that they don't have the talent or the coaching or whatever it is. They don't have the makeup to do anything in the playoffs. So
Everyone said that last year, though. They made it to the playoffs.
It's like one of those things where like, okay, if they get in as a 7 or 8 seed, I'm going to look at it as like, all right, well, they're done. Like whoever they're playing at 1 or 2 with Tampa, Washington, like whoever they're going to get beat. So it's like what It's not a hopelessness in the sense of being a basement dwelling team. It's the hopelessness of
Cocaine's a hell of a
mediocrity
drug.
and
I'll
just
tell
not
you.
accomplishing anything
He
past
gets on a
maybe
roll,
going to
doesn't
the
he?
playoffs, which the Flyers have done historically. If you just want to go by the
This is gonna
2000s,
be like the Academy
look how
Awards
many
in the
years the
second
Flyers
year.
have made the playoffs.
Right.
And it's impressive, but
Start the music.
they only had a Stanley Cup loss to show for it. So
All right, so I think
mean,
most of
it's-
us can agree, including Mr. Peterson.
Most of the
that
chat lines say
we have to start
over.
And I have to agree with that. It's time. This team, obviously, and I think we all agree, they're not winning the Cup this year. They're not going to win the Cup. They're not even going to contend for a Cup with the players they have right now on this roster.
Right.
Yes.
And that's why
Okay,
I
so
said
that's why you got to get rid of some of them.
last year hurt them. Because last year they shouldn't have sniffed the playoffs.
Well,
so the fact that we made the playoffs last year,
you know what?
this series seems
It
like we're
shouldn't
behind.
have made a difference. Should have
it,
made a difference.
It did make a playoff.
Why?
Because now we look behind, right?
Because I don't look behind. I'm looking forward. I'm
no.
looking to the
Now,
fact that
now we look like this franchise as a whole is behind. Because last year we made the playoffs. This year we look like we took 3 or 4 steps backwards.
No, I disagree. I think we knew what we have going in. We knew that this team
This year or last year?
This year probably would also sniff the playoffs, not do anything. But we knew what we had in that. Now, here's what you got to do.
Right, but still floating around that possibility of not making the playoffs this year.
Right. Now, are they still in last place in the division?
I don't think they haven't been in last place.
no,
for a
I
while.
think the Devils might be.
Devils
The
are
Devils
worse.
are?
Yeah,
Okay.
Devils are
Because
behind.
if I'm the Flyers, and this is going to sound shitty, I tank the season. Apparently, there's a kid coming out that is
you
going
never
to be.
Yep, they are. The Devils are still last. They're up 2 points on the Devils.
Okay, so
they
I
got 35. Devils have 30.
But you look at
I
how
would
many
tank
are
this
they out of
season.
like second or third place? It's like the bottom of the Metro is so bad that we win 4 games in a row and we could be like second place.
Yeah, true. But like I said, if I'm the Flyers, I tank. I tank.
You
Bring
never-
up
I
the
wouldn't say
kids.
tank. I would
No, 'cause-
say prepare to trade your assets
No,
this
no.
year if you know that
'cause
you're
so
You know what you got to do right now?
a stagnant team, not necessarily tank, but
You
like
gotta-
if you know you're a
you've
stagnant
gotta
team,
trust the
trade your
process.
assets.
It's tank.
Like,
no, because know what you're gonna do.
You've gotta trust the
You're saying
process.
tank the season.
Yes.
Who do you want in the pipes right now?
I want Carter Hart in the
You're
going
gonna
to
destroy that kid.
How are you going to destroy the kid? His job is to stop the puck. If he doesn't, so what? He's playing
What do you
right
mean,
now.
so what?
He's playing right now
That's
with
confidence.
No. He's playing right now with absolutely zero pressure on him. Zero. Because
Oh.
let's face it. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead. I'd
Let
like
me
to hear where
finish,
this
and
is
I'll tell you
going.
why he's got zero pressure. Because number one, he was not supposed to be up here. No one wanted him up here except Paul Holmgren. Right?
Everybody wanted him up
No,
here,
no,
where
no.
he should
Carter
not have
Hart
been.
wanted to be up too.
Carter
To
Hart
be fair,
wanted to be up
so.
here. That's true. But he has no pressure because nobody thinks they can win with Carter Hart. Nobody.
No,
So you know what?
everybody does.
Let him get the shit kicked out of him for the rest of the season.
Where you
and
get-
that's fine.
Everybody say they're saying he is our franchise goaltender.
Of the future.
No, now.
No, of the future. Future is not right now.
Future is tomorrow.
No, it's not.
Technically, yes.
No, technically it's not. The future is next season.
Did
the
yesterday
following
hap-
season.
tomorrow happen yet?
The following season after that. That's the future. This season's over.
And you
the
don't have to
Flyers
blow 'em
aren't
out.
going to
No,
win.
because you know what happens? He plays like shit the rest of the season.
Right?
Now, what's your confidence for next year with him?
Sky high.
You are
Sky
freaking high as a kite right now.
Because
Well, here's
again, you're playing for you got a good goaltender on a shit team.
No.
Yes. So you know they're going to be giving up goals left and right.
He blows up this season. All of our confidence is in him. He's our future. He plays like garbage the rest of this year. You're not going to think, oh, my God,
No
here's our
change.
future.
No change whatsoever. None.
You are.
But that's also why I think you don't tank is
Right.
because not the confidence thing even just see how things ride out and you don't want to tank because
Mr. Peterson,
you
I
might
agree.
depreciate the value of the assets that you have to trade. You might depreciate the value of a Voracek if you can get rid of him. You can depreciate the value of a Giroux. Don't tank. But the Flyers don't need the tank to not make a playoff run. You
Right.
know they're not going to do it.
Right.
So it's like just play, and then it's like okay, well, we're going to trade Giroux. Like, we're going to trade him to whoever, like a team that's contending. Like, we're going to trade him to Nashville, or we're going to trade him to Boston.
If I'm Paul Holmgren, you know what I do? I bring in Sam Hinkie. I bring in Sam freaking Hinkie and trust the process.
Oh, who's the new Flyers GM? Clyde Fletcher? What's his name?
Chuck Fletcher.
Yeah, maybe Chuck's the Sam Hinkie of hockey.
He's not. So that's the problem. Chuck, he
learned under Clark.
He brings in assets to further the team.
Yeah, but look what they're doing with their coaching staff. So are we really?
What are we doing with the coaching staff? We have an interim coach.
No, for the Sixers.
Oh, for
what
the Sixers.
What process are we trusting there? So they have the talent now,
right? And
they still got shit.
But they'll bring in the coach later. We'll discuss the Sixers some other time because Chris ran this freaking thing too long.
Absolutely.
Now, hey,
absolutely.
We're 25 minutes of Flyers talk. I'm happy.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break. Chris, thank you for the phone call, buddy. And if you want to stay on the line and talk longer or call back, you know, we're going to discuss some Eagles next, and then we're going to discuss next game, and then we're going to discuss other things.
Chris, where can they find this?
I could talk Eagles. Oof.
Chris, where can they find the Snakes and Vultures EP?
Oh, man, go on Bandcamp.com.
Bandcamp?
Bandcamp, baby.
Bandcamp.com/Snakes and Vultures.
Oh, all right.
Excellent.
Get the new album.
And so,
get the new EP.
Does this mean the next time Snakes and Vultures are on stage, he's going to plug Joy Buzzer?
Oh, my God, yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break. Chris, thank you, buddy.
Absolutely, man. Maybe I'll call back later.
Cool. Look forward to it.
We're going to unplug the phones.
Sweet.
Thank you
All right, guys. We'll see you.
See ya.
Chris. You're listening to the Joy Buzzer, sports talk with a buzz.
Just admit it. What you're doing right now is working, but it's not ideal. Before attending the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, I worked retail, and now I'm working for a major radio station in the Philadelphia market. There's a campus right here in the Philadelphia area. Visit GoCSB.com or call 1-800-TV-RADIO.
I am the commish.
And I'm Rob C., the instigator.
Nicky Cola over here.
And we are the Joy Buzzer, the premier sports talk show, sports talk with a buzz.
And if you like our new sports talk channel here on YouTube Live, please subscribe.
And if for some crazy reason you like the show, smash that thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the bell to get our notifications so when we go live, you're right here with us.
Woo! Man, that was an hour of Flyers talk there.
Welcome back.
Woo!
To the Joy Buzzer.
Love it.
Live on YouTube.
You still on the line, Chris?
No,
Okay. He'll call back later.
He'll call back. He's always welcome to. Okay, so now we're going to change gears.
Ooh.
We're going to go from the ice to the gridiron because the Eagles.
Hold on, Mr. Peterson. Next game coming up, next segment.
We got you. Don't you worry, Mr. Peterson, and we will include you again. We promise you. But we're going to talk Eagles, just Eagles right now because the season is on the line this week.
Yep.
But before that, I got to pose a question to you two.
On the line, but need help.
I got to pose a question to you two that I've been thinking about since last game.
Oh, that's been that smell? Last game?
Pretty much. Well, it's been
Sunday's
starting.
game?
Yeah, since the Houston game.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant our segment last
Okay, now here is my question to you two and Mr. Peterson. Anybody else who wants to chime in?
856-330-4749.
Say, hypothetical again, say Nick Foles wins on Sunday. Minnesota loses. The Eagles go to the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay? And say they somehow miraculously beat either Chicago or Los Angeles. So they go to the NFC Championship game to New Orleans.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they're in New Orleans for the championship football game.
Yes, yes.
Okay, win or lose that game.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Next season.
Yes.
If you get an offer, do you trade Carson Wentz and sign Nick Foles?
No.
Now, wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
Is this serious a question coming
This is
from
a
you?
very serious question. Now, Let's just say it is a spitball here because this is the first one that came to my mind. Let's say the Giants call you and say we'll offer you Saquon Barkley and a #1 pick for Carson Wentz.
Goodbye.
Right? Nick says go on. Rob?
No.
Mr. Peterson, what do you got? No, you're not trading Carson Wentz?
No, I am not trading Carson Wentz.
Really?
Nope.
Gone.
I love Saquon Barkley, but when was the last time a running back won you a Super Bowl?
Okay, true. Now, okay, so
That's the last time a quarterback's won you.
But we've got Nick
Quarterbacks
Foles.
always win Super Bowl.
But we got
especially you know who.
Wait a minute,
right, Nick?
Big Dick Nick is only 29 years old. He's not old by any stretch.
30.
Okay? He's got at least Tom Brady's got still playing at 40. So I'm saying Nick Foles has at least
he's the GOAT.
Different caliber of quarterback.
Wait a minute.
even though Foles beat him.
Wait a minute. I'm saying Foles has at least 5 good years.
No, but here's the thing is that we covered before. Foles isn't a starter.
Says who?
Says when he was here the first stint with us when we dubbed him not a starter.
Right, under Chip Kelly, and we all saw how that ended.
But we've said this before. He's not he's a great
Why,
backup.
why isn't he a starter in this offense that Doug Pederson has put together?
Look at the beginning of the year.
Right?
They weren't playing like this in the beginning of the year.
I'll tell you what, against Atlanta, he played against Tampa Bay. Foles played pretty well. The defense
he got outplayed by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He didn't get outplayed. The defense got outplayed. Foles put up points. They
didn't put up enough points.
I don't know. I think he's the guy when you don't have to 100% rely on him, and he's not your starter, and you can throw him in for a few games.
100% rely on him. He won us a Super Bowl last year. We really relied on him last year.
That was a moment of magic.
That was the
that we're hoping. That we're praying for.
He came
to happen again
in the middle of November and started the rest of the season. How is that a moment? That was 7 games.
You said it before, and we've all said it.
I did say it again.
No,
I did say it before. You're right. I did say that I would never trade Carson Wentz. I think
not that. Last year was just our year,
and it was.
That's the best way.
And it was our year.
So you can't throw.
So, but what happens?
Stars aligned.
What happens if this year is our year as well? I'm not saying it's going to be. I'll be honest. I don't think it is.
Your scenario has us losing to the Saints.
My scenario is a million what ifs.
Nobody's going to see that coming. If they win it this year, I guarantee you, no one predicted it after week 6 this year.
And I'm thinking now, what happens if all this? What if this all comes together
again? It all comes together. It becomes another magical season.
You're braced with the decision: do I re-sign Nick Foles to ride the pine? Do I trade Carson Wentz now? Because let's face it, there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out of the pipipeline that could be just as good. We don't know.
But
wait a minute.
Are we going into the future?
In the 3 years, in the 3 years that Carson Wentz has played, he's been hurt 3 years.
But I've been saying that, and everybody's been throwing. I've been saying this for a little while now, and everybody just dusts it off their shoulder. How long do you hold on to Carson Wentz, the guy now with a huge knee problem? With a major back problem that doesn't just get better. It's those 2 injuries could be nagging for the rest of his career.
And
so I've been saying that. How long do you hold on to this guy and say he's our future? That's our quarterback. We rely 100% on him.
Right.
He keeps getting injured like this. What future do you have?
But
I've been saying this.
Let's be honest. If the Eagles do not make the playoffs, all this goes out the window. They're going to let Nick Foles walk. Carson Wentz is your starting quarterback next year.
Right.
That's just the way it's going to be. There's no question about it.
Right.
But what if
that's just the way it is?
There's still
some things will never change.
They're still dubbing him the franchise quarterback.
Yes.
Which he could be. How long do you hold? My question is, how long do you keep trying him out?
And my question is, what will it take for another team to pry Carson Wentz from the Philadelphia Eagles? What will it take?
I don't think much, because if he keeps getting injured the way he's getting injured with he didn't hurt his pinky.
Right.
He has a hurt vertebrae in his back.
Here's the thing with the way most of the time the NFL works, though. You get a coach that comes in, he gets his quarterback. He's going to ride and die that quarterback. So are we saying that if Wentz is hurt and you trade him, are you then looking to change your coach? Or do you think Doug Peterson think Doug Peterson will be able to bring another quarterback in here and coach him up like Wentz?
Why not?
And Foles.
Why not?
Because usually a coach only lasts as good as his first quarterback. Which is why Baker Mayfield you know, is screwed.
He's taunting his old coach.
Yeah, he's screwed. He's already.
Well, he's been playing better with his second coach.
He's been playing better with his second coach. I give him that. But, you know, a guy like Josh Rosen or whatever, he's going to ride and die with his coach in Arizona, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, whoever comes into San Francisco, they get a young quarterback. The coach up in Buffalo with his young quarterback. Usually when one falters, the other one's gone. So if Wentz falters, is Peterson gone?
No. And I hate to say this because you know how much I love Penderson. Doug Peterson winning the Super Bowl last year bought him a little bit, an iota of security.
A few years.
With Roseman. So I think that right now, again, hypothetical, if Foles goes to at least the NFC Championship game, the Eagles re-sign Nick Foles and they trade Carson Wentz, and then they draft a quarterback coming out who, you know, a decent quarterback.
Peterson gave you an answer.
Armageddon. That's great. Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
That's right, because we are talking about Carson Christ.
Right.
So
I'm just saying now, if, you know, what will it take? Because I don't personally believe that Carson Wentz can stay injury-free. After watching him the last 3 years, he is, as Nick said, injury-prone.
That's what I've been saying.
Right.
And I've been saying, you know, how long do you hold on to this guy for? How long do you keep saying he is your franchise quarterback when he has major injuries?
Quarterbacks have come back from major injuries.
Sure they have.
Tom Brady.
I knew you were
snapped
going to
his
say
knee.
Tom Brady.
Snapped his knee. They went 11-5, which he came back and won the Super Bowl.
You can, obviously.
Drew Brees has been hurt.
Yes.
It's
not. Don't get me wrong. It's not unheard of.
Right.
But
would you count Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning with the knee.
It was out a year and a half.
A year and a half with his neck.
Right.
But
he came back and broke records.
Rapies.
Do you think?
Oh, he rapes. That don't
do
count.
you put Wentz in that category? Because let's face it, Tom Brady had one significant injury.
I was going to say these guys
Wentz
have
has had three.
Right.
You
know,
that's a fair point.
And I'll be honest, if by some miracle the Eagles get to the Super Bowl, not necessarily win it, get to the Super Bowl, Foles is your starting quarterback next year. Wentz is gone. Gone.
I don't know.
I think it just takes a Super Bowl run.
I don't think so because I think too many people are still.
Do you think Roseman gives a shit what other people think? Watching what Roseman's done, do you think he gives a rat's ass what other people think?
I think they're still fully bought and sold into the fact of he's our franchise quarterback. He's not going anywhere.
I think Peterson is. I don't think Roseman is. I think if Roseman gets offered two number one picks and a decent player, Wentz is packing his bags.
Look at how
How about this? How about this? Foles goes out, another magical year, wins another Super Bowl. He's a free agent, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's got the world knocking on his door. A two-time Super Bowl champion. Do you think he's gonna
but he's
pick
even
up his
said,
option?
He even said that he doesn't really care. I mean, he could have went somewhere else this offseason and he signed with Philly.
And now,
as
do
a
you
backup.
think that if he wins the Super Bowl and has the world by the cojones, and you know the Eagles came knocking on the door and said, "Hey Nick, you can start next year. We're going to trade Carson. You want to re-sign with us?" Nick would be like, "Yes." And I don't care how much you're paying me. Yes. He doesn't want to leave Philly. He loves it here. And especially if he goes to another Super Bowl, he's going to be a god here.
Oh, yeah. He literally will be.
He already is a god.
Yeah,
no. Right now, he's a deity. He will be a god.
Nick Foles is a god here.
He literally is fucking Big Dick Nick.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
walk around with the Johnson out.
Yeah, the golden
penis.
The golden penis.
So I think that's something we've got to take into thought here.
Consideration?
I've been trying to bring it up for a while, and everybody's been shooting me down because he's a franchise quarterback.
Yes, because I didn't.
What does it take for you?
I didn't think he'd be that injury prone.
What would it take for you? I mean, nobody does. Nobody.
Right.
You come in and you don't think the way he played his first couple games, few weeks, it was mind blowing. It was the guy wouldn't get hurt, didn't get touched, was smart. He wasn't RG3 taking hits. It was get out, throw the ball away. It was, oh my God, here we go. We finally got this guy, and now it's. He gets sneezed on and he's breaking.
Right.
But what would it take for you?
For me, it's a.
Would it be that Barkley and first round pick?
It's a number one pick, the first round pick, and one of the team's current superstars.
Do you think any team would offer that for how hurt Wentz is?
For a franchise quarterback that everybody loves, absolutely.
As hurt as he is,
doesn't matter.
Who the league will perceive as damaged goods.
Yeah, and they should. Carson Wentz, wherever he plays next year,
he puts up good numbers. Even hurt, Mr. Peterson.
Wherever he plays next year, Carson Wentz, he has to play a full year. doesn't necessarily have to have a great year, but he has to play a full year. He's got to play 16 games.
He has to play full next season full.
Yes.
He has to.
If not, then
I don't want to say it's a bust because he definitely was a major part of getting our Super Bowl.
Not a bust.
No, and that's what I don't want to say bust.
Troublesome.
I mean, he was a huge part of that Super Bowl last year.
Sure he
was.
was.
The way he played to get that team rolling, we don't go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, 33 touchdowns in 12 and a half games?
11
That's
wins,
impressive.
you know.
That's very impressive. There's no question about it. And yes, no Wentz, no Super Bowl last year.
100%. Yes.
You know, can't argue that, won't argue that.
No.
But as we've all been saying, that's last year. This year, he did not have a good year. I truly believe he's been hurt since day one. He's never really fully healthy at all, be it the knee, the back, the teeth. It doesn't matter.
No,
he was never healthy.
And
if he wasn't healthy, they wouldn't have let him play.
It affected his.
I don't agree with that at all.
No,
it affected his play a little bit because you see that in Zach Ertz's numbers because he relied on Ertz and didn't spread the ball around.
But that was the hesitation.
One thing you got to give Foles credit for.
No, we got a phone call again.
Oh snap!
Oh boy!
Who could this be? Should I cue the music back up?
Oh, what's going on, guys?
Oh yeah!
Welcome back.
All right.
So I've seen you guys are getting into Carson Wentz, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. See, do you know what's funny? I think that people are feeling the way about the Eagles that they should feel about the Flyers. Where I think since this season, when what you were talking about with the Flyers, Nick, with the whole sinking there behind.
Yes.
I don't see it. You know what it is? Like, dude, it's a hiccup, and you got to look at it like they ain't gonna win every year, dude. Like that's just the reality. It's not football. I mean, like you could say, yeah, New England is like a dynasty or whatever, but New England also won what 5 Super Bowls in 18 years or something like that. Like that's a dynasty, but they didn't win every year.
Right.
So
yeah, but you know what? They won 10 straight AFC East titles.
He sure did.
So how embarrassed is the rest of the AFC East that they let these yahoos win 10 in a row?
Yeah, because the AFC East is garbage, and it's been garbage for a long time.
You put New England in any other division, they don't win 2 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way. The AFC
No,
South,
don't
maybe.
feed into it. Don't feed into it.
But definitely, I mean, like, I don't think the North, because I think Baltimore and Pittsburgh have always been competitive. The West kind of has been weird because now it seems like it's Kansas City and San Diego. Well, not San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
But you know, a few years ago you had the Broncos.
Yeah, nobody touched Denver for a couple
of
years.
So yeah, but the AFC East, like you're right, it's a dumpster fire besides New England.
It's true.
Class of the division, baby.
But you look at the Eagles and you look at what the Eagles were, what they were last year.
I think he's 12-1 against Roethlisberger.
Shouldn't in the offseason they have gotten better? Isn't that how that's supposed to work?
You're building a point on that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get better. You're not supposed to get significantly worse.
Mr. Peterson,
next year.
we all have other names for New England.
But you people, I mean, like, I feel like it's not stressed enough just the devastation injury-wise this team has suffered this year. And I understand last year it's like, yeah, Carson Wentz went down in a crucial part of the season and this and that. And, you know, we didn't have Peters and we didn't have Hicks. And it's like, but look at the guys we didn't have this year. I mean, McLeod.
We had no corners.
You know, you're playing fucking practice squad
league.
corners
Right.
starting.
Oh yeah,
It's brutal.
100%. The injuries this year are just as big, some a little worse than last year. But it's just in an off season. I feel like the team should, if not be the same, not take this many steps down.
But it wasn't. It's not because of the guys they picked up or lost. At least I don't think. I just think it's the luck of the draw with everything to go on throughout a season. It's like, you know, it's like they kind of mentioned it, and I know it's kind of hokey to bring up, but it's like everything last year went the Eagles' way.
Oh yeah,
you look at all the stuff that's
year.
going on this year. Look at how much stuff hasn't gone in our favor. The Tennessee game, the Carolina game.
Yeah, but you know what, Chris? Chris, as a Super Bowl champ, the stuff that went against you, you should have been able to play through. The loss in Tennessee, the loss in Tampa Bay. Super Bowl champions should win those games regardless of what happens.
Carolina game.
It's hard to
the
get
Carolina game, up 17 at home and losing.
Right.
Those games, a Super Bowl champion should win no matter who's in there playing.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
The loss of key personnel on any team.
It ain't
though.
their year. Like people, I think they're looking too much into it. Where it's like they're thinking like, oh, we're messing up this year. Oh no, this is this. It's like, like sometimes when it comes down to it, it ain't your year. You go back next year fresh. Hopefully the Eagles make some moves in the offseason, whether it's getting a good pick or getting a guy to play in the secondary or whatever the case is.
We can't be talking about next year yet. We still have
no,
one
I
game to win.
understand that, but and that's actually the positive aspect of this team this year is the fact that there's still a chance that they can be in the playoffs.
That's right.
That alone,
which is crazy.
with everything that's gone on, is pretty. I'm not going to say miraculous, but it's something close to that. But and again, the odds aren't in our favor either, too, because regardless of whether we win or not, I mean, we have to win, but another team has to lose.
So, Chris, would you say that the Eagles have willed themselves into a playoff position?
I'm hearing a little song coming on.
I could smell a
Son of a bitch.
Would you say that they're given free will to go into the playoffs? Ladies and gentlemen, a little Snakes and Vultures, free will.
Sean, I'm not. I can't see you,
why
but I
I
can only imagine what your facial expression is right now.
Chris, I actually like these songs. I'm not
It's
dissing
just
at all.
me as a person. That's all.
You're a jerk. No.
Free will.
I like your music. You're just a garbage human being.
I do agree with sometimes it's not your year. I think coming off of a Super Bowl championship, I was expecting a lot more out of this team.
Okay, but I think that's one of the main problems too, is having expectations. What expectations did you have last year? None. It was it was the first year as an Eagles fan last year that I just took it and I'm like, dude, let's just go for the ride, see what happens. Like, don't be like, this team has got the makings of a Super Bowl team. Like, when we were in week 12 or 13 or whenever leading up to the Rams game, I wasn't saying, like, this team is going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just like, this is a fun team to watch, and they are good. And, like, you get excited every week to watch the Eagles play. It's like, I don't want to put expectations on them because my experience with putting expectations on them is always failure, and that's just the way life is. Like,
right.
You put expectations on things, they're never going to meet up. So don't put expectations on this team just because they won the Super Bowl. Go for the ride. And you know what? If the ride's bumpy, like it's been this year, and if things don't pan out, like if the Eagles can't get a playoff spot, and because whether it's their own fault and they lose against Washington, or whether it's because Minnesota beat Chicago, then just we got it next year. Like, we got it next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Chris Trainer's Joy Buzzer. Hey!
I do agree with that, though. As a Philadelphia sports fan, you can't have expectations and everything. But at week, 13 last year, week 12 last year, it was who could beat us. That was us. We were winning the Super Bowl last year. I had expectations last year that late in the season. Going into it, no.
Did you lose those expectations when Wentz went down, though, and Foles stepped in? Everybody did.
Everybody did.
Yeah, they all did. They're all like, what the fuck are we going to do? The MVP of the league is done for the year.
But not
Who would
Chris.
have thought?
Because Chris was just along for the ride. He had the free will to go along for the ride.
It was bad. I mean, everybody, it was building up to that was, this is our year. This nobody's better than us. Then Wentz goes down, and it's, oh, shit. Like, are you kidding me? We finally get a good team, an MVP quarterback, and then you give Foles 1 or 2 games, and it was like, okay, we're exactly where we are if Wentz was still in. Whereas this year, you're starting off with, okay, there should be something there, and nothing ever clicked until, like, week 12 this year.
You got to remember, too, coming into this year, it was the first time ever we were the defending champs coming into the year. We've never had that before.
Yes.
I mean, it's 1960, but who the hell was around for 1960? None of
Well,
us.
I wasn't Super Bowl.
All right. But I'm just saying they were champions. However,
Right.
this is the first year we came in as the defending Super Bowl champions. So a lot of people, and myself included, I gave this whole season a pass. I said, whatever happens this season, I can live with, except for the 2 losses to Dallas. They hurt.
No,
but everything else I can
they
live with.
sucked. They were those hurt the
guess I'm
most
done.
because it's Dallas, but the Carolina game was just ridiculous.
Oh, that stung. That was bad,
Right,
especially at home, like Sean said earlier.
It's games like that last year we're up 17 in the fourth quarter. We still win by 30.
My problem was I didn't want it to be the one-hit wonders.
But we don't know that. You're not going to know that. You might not even know that after the next season. Like you're not going to know if they're the one-hit wonders until like 2022, 2021. Like you're not going to know because it's
until they
this is
take
such
my advice and fire Peterson.
Oh God, come on.
But if you compare last year to this year, it's a extreme world of difference. Yes, we've had downfalls from this year and injuries and huge problems on defense.
We all we need.
But yeah, but
Right.
it's just
The dog masks.
I did expect a little more out of this team. I didn't expect them to be this bad. To have Dallas beat us twice like that.
Chris, real quick, what happens on Sunday?
Honestly, I think the Eagles beat Washington, but I think Minnesota probably beats Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's our biggest
You
problem.
save it till next game.
Fuck you. I say what I want. This is my show and
is.
Chris's show.
It's all right.
Right.
Nikki, Chris's Joy Buzzer.
Technically, it's Snakes and Vultures, Joey Buzzer.
Nicely
Ah,
done.
well done. Well played.
Nicely done.
This is it? Are we done? No.
No.
Are we playing the music?
I do
Cheer 'em
agree.
off, Strange.
Our biggest problem is going to be Chicago winning, because I think we should be able to kick Washington's ass,
Well,
especially
here's
with the
thing.
way this team's been playing.
If they're scoreboard watching and they see that the Rams are losing,
Which they said they are. The coach of Chicago said they are. He said if LA's blowing out,
yeah, but if the Rams are losing,
If the
and
Ram-
Chicago has a chance to get that 2 seed,
right? But they're scoreboard watching. So if
And-
LA's kicking whoever there's playing ass, he's going to bench all his starters for the second half for Chicago.
Todd Gurley is out. Todd Gurley is not playing on Sunday.
what?
Is that
this,
just
This is
is this
breaking
breaking Joy
news.
Buzzer news here? Hold
This
on.
is breaking news. The coach for the Rams, what the hell is his name?
Dick Hurts.
Sean McVay.
There you go,
Yeah,
Sean
okay.
McVay. Yeah, right. Macaulay Culkin. No, that's
Yeah.
John Gurley.
Yeah.
Has said that he is going to sit out Todd Gurley one more week just to be safe and have him ready for the playoffs. So that may change things in L.A. Now,
Maybe, but the dude who replaced them last week had like 120 yards and a touchdown.
yeah, but who were they playing?
Well, who are they playing this
yeah.
week? I think they're
But
playing
they're playing
the
like
49ers.
Arizona this week, aren't they, or something like
think
that?
like the
No, that's
49ers.
Seattle.
They're in San Francisco.
I think.
And
Yeah,
San
San
Francisco-
Francisco. I mean, like San Francisco is
They're
better
not
than
awful.
Arizona, but they're not.
They're not awful.
You know, they're not world
great,
beaters.
but they're not
either,
awful.
so.
And it's still a division game,
Right.
and it's still a rivalry.
So I wouldn't go.
They're our rivals.
I wouldn't go, throwing dirt on the death of the Chicago scoreboard watch just yet.
No, but the
We still have to handle our business, and the Redskins have been playing better, and they are also playing for a playoff spot.
No, they're not.
Did they lose last
they
week?
got
they're out.
they got
They're
eliminated.
done.
Yeah.
How did they get it? What, did
Yeah,
they lose
they're-
last
They
week?
lost.
They're out.
They lose last
They
week?
lost to Nodi.
Oh, that's right. They lost to the Titans.
Right.
All right, so never mind that.
But the
But
coach of
Scratch.
the coach of Chicago did
Hold on a
say
second. I
that
have to give myself a buzz.
at halftime, if the Rams are kicking ass, he's benching all his starters.
Are there other sounds on that board?
No.
Okay, just checking.
I don't know. That's our biggest problem. Is we need Chicago to win, because I think we can easily beat Washington.
And I'm holding my thoughts till next game. There you go. See, at least it's a different sound. All right, Chris, again, thank you for joining us. If you want to
Thank you.
chime in again, you're welcome anytime.
So we keep him
I
around
won't
for next
bother
game?
you guys
can
anymore,
pick-
at least this Friday.
Chris,
we appreciate it.
Chris,
though.
do you want to make the interns picks for next game?
I would love to make the interns picks, actually, if you would let me do that.
As long as you pick
You know
every
what?
shit team.
Yeah, and he's not here, so screw him.
Whatever team that Alex Smith is playing. Oh, wait.
See, that's my nephew. That's why I love him.
Wow. You're talking.
Well, Chris, hang on the line because we got to take a break.
Here's Free Will from Snakes and Vultures.
We're going to try and take this break again. When we come back, we're going to do Mr. Peterson's favorite segment, Next Game. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Joy Buzzer, sports talk with a buzz.
Just admit it. What you're doing right now is working, but it's not ideal. Before attending the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, I worked retail, and now I'm working for a major radio station in the Philadelphia market. There's a campus right here in the Philadelphia area. Visit GoCSB.com or call 1-800-TV-RADIO.
I am the commish.
And I'm Rob C, the Instigator.
Nicky Cola over here.
And we are the Joy Buzzer, the premier sports talk show, sports talk with a buzz.
And if you like our new Sports Talk channel here on YouTube Live, please subscribe.
And if for some crazy reason you like the show, smash that thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the bell to get our notifications so when we go live, you're right here with us.
Welcome back to the Joy Buzzer. And gentlemen, this is our final next game of the year.
Oh man.
How are we doing over there? What's the
What's some stat
Give me
lines?
some stat lines here. Let's see what we got.
Let's see.
I know Zach had a shit week last week.
9-7. 9-7. Not
shit week.
not too bad for him.
Shit week.
I had 11-5, and you two buttholes again with a 12-4.
I am all that is football God.
Whatever.
I got a 7. I still have a 7-game lead.
I don't know, but all I know is if I wasn't away for a couple weeks, I'd be kicking everybody's ass.
No, you're still
hold on a
you're still
second.
down by a lot.
I know that because I was away.
No,
And I got the worst picks ever because freaking Donnie picked them. And Jesus Christ, that hurt.
Nah, Rapsy's got an 8-game lead on me.
It's
I got like
insurmountable.
12
I have
on you.
clinched.
Yeah,
Not only have it
Oh,
clinched.
yeah, it's over. It's over.
Yeah,
There's no
you're
question about
you're
it.
clinched and you clenched.
And I'm cleansed.
Next game. All right, so let's go the first game.
Hey, is Chris on the line? Is he?
Yeah, I can hear Chris.
Yes, I
He's
am.
there.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. We got him. We've got him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's the music.
Snakes and vultures.
That's Snakes and Vultures?
Snakes and
Wow,
Vultures.
It
Chris,
could
you
be.
are expanding.
Ah, damn, getting into that techno shit.
Wow, we got all kinds of shit playing here, don't we?
A lot of shit.
Man,
First game.
we're almost like a real radio show.
First
Son of a
game.
bitch.
First game. Those Miami Dolphins in the toilet bowl game of the week.
Ooh.
There's a lot of this week.
AFC East juggernauts. The Miami Dolphins. They're having a Buffalo to take on the Bills.
Okay, my first thought is, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
Hey,
Why do we
always.
care about any 1 o'clock game this week? But I'll take the Bills just because we're
I go
home.
Bills.
Just because we're home. For no other reason.
I got Miami.
And maybe it's snowing. Who knows?
Who did Nick take?
Miami.
Chris,
I'll
what do
take
you
the
think?
Bills.
Well, for the intern, the Bills are great. They're great, so I'm going to go with the Bills.
All right, and so is Mr. Peterson going with the Bills.
Wow, only went out on a limb. Yeah, let's
Wow.
go Tannehill if he's even playing there anymore.
Is he still alive?
I don't think so. I think they're getting rid of him too.
Next game!
Next game. The Atlanta Falcons close out their season in Tampa Bay, taking on that crab leg stealing, Uber Malelin. Oh,
Settling.
Uber settling.
Heisman
And the
Trophy winning.
Oh,
Non-bench riding, starting quarterback,
Okay.
Jameis Winston.
Woo!
Yeah.
And I'm still taking Atlanta.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Jameis because honestly, I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league because I don't know if he starts in Tampa Bay next year.
Yeah, I got Atlanta.
Mr. Peterson went with the Falcons. Chris, what do you got?
Tampa.
Tampa, okay.
All right, Chris, where are we going next?
I don't know. Where are we going?
Next game.
What's the name? What's the name of the segment?
Next game.
I
like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right. The Dallas Cow bitches travel to New York to take on Saquon Barkley.
Just
And
Saquon
that's
Barkley.
it.
Yeah.
Just Saquon Barkley.
You know what? I fucking hate Dallas, but congratulations. They won a division. They won the division.
Yeah.
We didn't give them the division. They won it.
Yeah. Oh,
They
got,
kicked our ass twice.
Let me congratulate them as well.
I know. What the hell is that? Oh, you got one playing already.
There's a couple farts in that game.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
Okay.
it. We got the fart.
So, you got to congratulate them. They won a division. As much as I hate
Do
them.
they play anyone? You think they?
Nah, they're going to. No.
You think Giants pull this one
I
out?
think Giants win this game because even Jerry Jones said, I'm not playing my guys. He didn't give what's-his-face, Howdy Doody, a shot.
Yeah.
His coach. He,
No.
You know,
Yeah,
Jason Garrett. So
I
I'm going
got
Giants.
I got Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
Mr. Peterson's going Saquon Barkley. Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Saquon and the Giants.
All right.
I think that Dallas isn't really playing for that much. They already know that they're not getting the top 2 seed, and they have the division. So.
Yep.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Next game.
Next game, those Carolina Panthers travel to New Orleans to take on the number 1 seed Saints.
Well, let's face it, the Saints aren't playing anybody. In fact, I think they said Teddy Bridgewater's starting today, on Sunday. Today. I'm still going Saints because
I'm still going Saints too.
they're home. They don't lose at home no matter who's playing. And Panthers are just
Carolina
playing
is shat.
Yeah,
Right,
they're
and
done.
Cam's out. So who's their backup quarterback? Think he hurts?
Chris Trainer.
Chris Trainer's the backup.
Congratulations.
I don't know. Who do you think's going to kick more field goals in that game?
Saints have a better kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'll be contrarian. I'll go with the Panthers.
All right. Mr. Peterson also went with the Saints.
I'll take the Saints.
All right.
Nice.
Where are you going?
Next game.
There you go.
Oh, I'm going Saints. Yeah.
All right.
Next game?
Next game.
Nicky said
Okay.
next game.
Next game. Here it is, gentlemen. This week.
Oh God, 17
those
weeks.
New York
17
Jets.
weeks of this shit.
The legend of Sam Darnold. Is it Sam or Travis?
I don't.
Darnold. They travel up to New England to take on the Patriots.
I'll tell
and
you
this
what.
is when this is when he becomes another. He was almost a legend killer last week.
He should have been.
He should have been a legend
He should have
killer
been.
last week.
The Jets played very well last week against Green Bay.
Right.
They should have came in with a W, and they didn't. They lost in overtime. I'm sure as hell not going to tell them that the Jets are going to win this game. Patriots, it's at home. You know, New England is
Playing
still
nobody.
playing. Well, New England is still playing to keep
There's-
their hopes alive for a second seed and a bye.
Their starters will play a half at that.
Assuming.
That should win it by then.
I will see. I'm still going to go New England. Mr. Peterson's also going New England.
I'm not giving it an
Come on,
answer.
you don't even
Oh,
have
he know what he's picking.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you got?
Oh, God. See, I can't be that cruel, so I got to go with New England. I can't
What?
in good conscience, pick the Jets.
But the legend may start.
The legend's going to begin this week, Chris.
Nick, where you going?
I got New England, unfortunately.
And we know Rob's picking New England.
Right.
Next game.
Next game. Oh, shoot. We get to play this one last time for the commish because
Mother of pearl.
Chris, the commish crowned the Jaguars the best team in football
Because of the song.
because of this song.
In week 3.
Week 3, they were the best team in football.
I wouldn't have argued too much with you besides the quarterback.
Get ready, Chris.
Wait for it.
You know why?
Wait for it.
All right, that's enough.
Oh,
That's just awful. God,
Those
that's
Jaguars, they travel to Houston to take on the Texans.
That's awful. Well, Mr.
Now,
Peterson's taking the Texans, just so we all know that.
All right, the Jaguars.
I'm with
Would-
Mr. Peterson.
Would you benefit? Would you think they make a hard push for Foles?
Oh, 100%.
Could you see
That's
Nick
where I
Foles
see him
quarterback
landing.
in that team?
Yeah, I see him landing in Jacksonville. Jacksonville or Miami. I think it's either one of those.
I don't see him in Miami. Jacksonville has a better shot.
Because I think Miami's done with Tannehill.
I'll tell you who the starting quarterback of Jacksonville's going to be next year. Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater.
Blah, 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 blah.
I meant
Teddy-
that very good. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be your starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars next year. And you know what? Hear this, boys. Jacksonville wins this game. I'm taking Jacksonville. They
Ooh.
win this game. They want to play spoiler now.
Can they spoil anything? Isn't Houston
Texans-
locked up?
They made the playoffs, but they could
Playoffs?
also conceivably get a home field,
Ah.
a bye.
True.
So I
Which-
think Jacksonville goes out and beats them.
Nope,
No,
I
I
got
think
Houston.
I go with Houston. I think it's a bounce back game. They'll play hard enough to win the game and still be able to rest a couple guys. Crash?
Chris, what do you got?
Oh, that's a tough one because everything tells me Jacksonville just because this is the intern's pick.
Nah.
Go with your gut.
Go with my gut.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll get Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I think
Very good.
whoever they got starting, what's his name?
Dick Hurts.
Yeah. No idea.
Dorothy
The
Hamill?
fault.
You didn't get the
I,
phone call?
I think his name is Tyler Stetler.
Oh, now if he's playing quarterback,
I'm guessing that's someone in the group there.
It's only the most
Yes, it is.
guitars. Only the most awesome guitar player on the planet.
All right, very good.
Next game.
Snakes and vultures. The Detroit Lions travel to Green Bay to close out the season against the Packers.
You know,
Is this a toilet bowl game?
Of course it is.
Yeah, you know what? It is a toilet bowl
Every
game.
1 o'clock game is a toilet bowl game. Every one. But I do feel bad for the Lions because they got screwed last week big time against the Vikings. They got screwed right before halftime. I'm not going to get into it, but just knowing the Vikings got really lucky at halftime last week, and they could have conceivably lost the game. They didn't. It's over. Lions are going to lose this week to the Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is pretty much playing for his future and his future coach. So I'm taking Green Bay.
Do you think Green Bay will trade Aaron Rodgers?
No.
No, God, no.
No.
I got Detroit.
Okay.
Who has more upside, Carson Wentz or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, Rodgers is older. Rodgers is 35.
He's also been hurt.
Right? He's also been hurt.
He's proven, though. I mean, he doesn't have a ring.
Sure he does.
Does he?
Oh,
Yeah, he does.
does.
Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
does.
He crushed the Pittsburgh
He does.
Steelers. How you doing,
That's
Mr.
right.
Henry? Remember that one?
Yeah.
He does.
And he's played in one other. So, I mean, he's been
So
there.
he's proven.
Yeah. Oh,
Even-
he's got his jacket ready for the Hall of Fame.
You can come back from injuries. It can be done. It's
Right.
just, it seems like Wentz's are stacking up a lot. Who you got?
What do you got?
I'm going to take the Packers. Aaron.
Mr. Peterson's taking the Packers, and Miss Frazier's taking the Packers. Next game!
Yeah, did Chris
I
pick?
thought Chris picked the Packers. Chris
no, I didn't. I didn't pick anybody.
Oh, I thought you did.
I
I'm
actually
sorry,
picked
buddy.
the Lions.
Oh, very good. Pick the Lions.
Yeah.
I
The intern
apologize.
picked
Somebody is on my team.
All right.
Next
Can we
game.
go next game?
Next game.
Next game.
Our hometown Eagles.
Here we go.
Travel to Washington to take on that racist team. Go.
The Redskins. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
you go
Eagles.
first.
All Eagles.
Okay.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, Eagles.
Yeah.
Nick Foles is going to have a dynamic game. Maybe his last as an Eagle
Yeah.
quarterback.
It's gonna fall on Minnesota losing for us.
Chris, who are you taking?
Redskins.
I am taking the Redskins as well.
Look at you guys.
I think the Eagles, they're just, it's going to be one of those weeks where they don't show up. Mr. Peterson's taking the Eagles. I think the Eagles are poised.
Washington
to get
plays
their ass
spoiler.
kicked. Yep. So I'm taking the Redskins.
Possibility.
Hurts me to do, but it's what I see. Next game.
Next game. Those Los Angeles, the Clippers of
Clippers.
LA.
Clippers.
They travel out to Denver to take on the Broncos.
Ow.
The Broncos, the first time in a long time
Yeah.
they had back-to-back losing seasons.
Ow.
It's been, what, like 40 years?
Something like that.
It's been a
Ow.
long time since back-to-back losing seasons.
Oh, Casey Keenum is still there, right?
That's the problem.
Wow,
You know
that-
what? They can
That's
build
the
around
issue.
him.
I don't think
Not
they
bad.
have anything. Oh, Lindsey got hurt.
Yeah, broke his wrist or something.
They,
So
they,
he
they started
needs-
having a fire sale.
He needs
Right.
surgery. Yeah, they started getting rid of players.
Oh, Mr. Peterson's taking the Broncos. You're going on a limb there, champ. I'm taking the Chargers. Chargers are still playing for the division.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they win. Do they have the possibility of
They
of a
win,
one seed?
Chiefs lose, they're the 1 seed.
They're the 1 seed.
If they win and Chiefs lose. So
Chiefs
I'm-
is loser eliminated from the
no,
playoffs?
not eliminated. They've already clinched playoff berths.
They both have
Yeah.
playoff. Okay.
But one will be the.
if the Chiefs lose, they're wild card.
It's 1 seed or wild card.
Right.
yeah,
Wow.
Yep. What do you got?
craziness.
I'll let Denver play spoiler.
All right.
I'm going with the LA Clippers.
Clippers.
It could be a spoiler type of weekend.
Chris, what do you got?
I say Denver plays spoiler.
All right. And Miss Frazier's going Broncos as well.
Yeah, I think it's spoiler weekend.
Yes. Okay, we'll go with that.
Next game.
Next game. The Raiders. Our Raiders, are they going to play spoiler?
They can play spoiler,
because
too.
they travel to
Absolutely.
Kansas City to take on the Chefs.
Who haven't been playing that great.
They've been classic Andy Reid.
Right.
Classic Andy Reid. It's
A little
near-
later this season, though.
Right.
Usually it's, a few more weeks.
But it's classic Andy Reid. Coming near playoff time, we got to
Collapse. Yeah.
Let's not forget, they lost a marquee running back.
Yeah, they did.
For stupidity.
Yeah, they did.
And they haven't filled that hole yet.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Billy, you're going spoiler.
Nice.
Mr. Peterson's going the Chiefs. Miss Frazier's going the Raiders.
And did you know that, what's it, Derek Carr? Is that the quarterback of the...
Sure, we'll go with that.
Derek Carr, yes.
He kind of looks like this rock singer trainer. If you look at him, put him side by side, it's an amazing comparison.
Yeah, I don't
That
see
and The
it.
Miz.
I'm going Chiefs.
All right.
I think they can squeak out one more and then lose in the first round of the playoffs.
They're at home. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Chris, what do you got?
Got the Raiders spoiler. I say that the Chargers and the Chiefs both lose.
Wow.
Ooh,
All right.
throw it all in a mix.
Ooh.
Big
Next
old
game.
upset
Ruby
salad.
Next game.
Rick Frame.
Game.
Rick Frame, Rich Brigader.
Those Chicago Bears travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings.
Ritterbrota.
All right, rock 'em, shock 'em.
Here's
Rock and roll
I got
division.
2 points on this game.
This is the game.
2 points to make. Number one, as I said with Baltimore last week, defense travels. So that's why I think the Bears. And Mr. Peterson made a great point earlier. The Vikings do not want to play the Bears in back-to-back. I'm sorry, the Bears don't want to play the Vikings in back-to-back weeks, and that's probably what would happen if the Vikings win. I'm taking the Bears to win this outright. Defense travels. Bears.
I got Bears.
This is tough. This is tough because I'm expecting the Vikings at home with a decent defense, and I think it's going to depend on if Kirk Cousins decides to show up for this game.
Were you scrolling on a computer
I was.
to lie to
Pretty
find
good,
an old
huh?
comment? Holy
Pretty good.
shit.
I know
But
my
I do
shit.
think
Sorry. I apologize.
I do think the Bears are going to win this game.
Okay,
Because
Mr. Peterson's
I don't
taking
think
the
Kirk
Bears.
Cousins is gonna show up.
Mr. Peterson agrees with you.
Chris?
Oh, dude, Vikings. Vikings are going to win at home.
Okay.
And also because it will spoil the Eagles' season. So
Spoiler.
that's just the way it'll work.
Miss Frazier's taking the Bears. Squid, what do you got?
Oh, I got Bears.
You got Bears?
Oh, yeah.
Bears. So,
Bears.
so everybody's taking the Bears except Chris.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Next game.
Next game. Those Cleveland Browns, do they still have a shot?
No.
No? They're
Well,
No, but if they do win this
they
damn
have
game,
a very important game this weekend.
I'm going to be pissed if
Their
they
game
win
is
this game.
important as hell.
Very pissed off if they win.
Yep.
Because the commission prediction will be true.
You called them winning 8 games, right?
Yeah, I did.
And they have 7 wins.
They
on the
have
season
7
so far.
wins.
Oh my
and they'll
God.
end up
But-
being 500.
More important than that, if
Pissed
the Browns
off.
beat the Ravens and Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh is in. If the Ravens beat the Browns, Pittsburgh is out regardless.
That's right. Everything the
Everything
Pittsburgh
comes down to
season lands.
Cleveland.
Let's go
To
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
I am rooting hard for the Ravens. I don't want to see Pittsburgh in the playoffs. I don't. I
Yeah,
can't
but-
stand them.
You're voting for the Ravens?
I'm rooting for, and I'm
can't.
picking the Ravens.
That means you're going against your own pick.
I have to because I don't want to see Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
But I thought if Cleveland won, then Pittsburgh's out.
If Baltimore wins,
Yes.
They're in.
they're in.
Baltimore's
and Pittsburgh, yes, and Pittsburgh needs Cleveland to win to make the playoffs, and I just
Right.
Ah.
The Steelers
So-
have to win their game.
right, and the Browns have to win theirs.
Right.
I'm
and
going.
I'm going to still pick the Browns.
I'm going
want
Browns.
I want the
I'm gonna-
Browns so bad, but I think the Ravens are winning this game.
I'm picking the Browns.
I'm going Browns.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker, talk about the real fucking man. You're
The
giving me Sam Darnold.
That's right.
Baker's it. Baker's got some skills.
So I guess he's going Cleveland.
Got to go Believeland.
All right.
Cleveland.
Mr. Peterson is taking
As
the
much
Ravens.
as I love B more.
Miss Frazier's taking the Browns. Mr. Peterson is calling it Schittsburg. And that's all I hear up in Western PA. I bet that's all you hear out there. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Zeus.
Hey, do you think we can get Chris to sing a version of Next Game?
Rex game.
Chris?
Sing next game?
Yeah, not yet. Wait, we'll cue you up. Right, because Nick just got it and stuff.
Did I jump in there?
Yeah, you jumped in there.
Okay.
All right.
Is that all I got to do?
Here it is.
You ruined it.
49ers travel to LA to take on those Rams.
Another very important game.
Spoiler game? Is this a spoiler game?
I think Rams. Even without Gurley, Rams still.
Yeah, I think Rams
ass.
too, but I think it's going to be closer than what you think. And I think it's going to make Chicago keep their players in there.
I think that's what we need.
That's exactly
It
what
all it's going to be all dependent on the 49ers, how long the Rams starters go. If this game, if they're blowing them out at halftime, the Rams will start laying people down. And then
Rams are blowing them out at halftime, then that's going to make Chicago sit
Easier.
down their
Right.
starters, which gives Vikings easier time.
But now here's a crazy thought. Say the Rams lose this game, Chicago wins, and we win. We go to LA.
Okay.
Okay.
I want them to play Todd Gurley so he gets hurt more.
Jeez.
Is that bad? Is that wrong?
That's mean.
So where's everybody going? I'm going Rams.
I got Rams.
You know, I'm going to take the 49ers.
And Mr. Peterson's agreeing with you. 49ers. Miss Frazier's taking the
Yeah.
Rams. Chris, where you going?
Oh, the second coming of Brett Favre.
Who?
Nick Mullins, baby. Going to 49ers.
The fake Big Nick Dick? Whatever.
Big Nick Dick.
We can put it the other way.
Yeah, that one.
Big Nick Dick instead of Big Dick Nick.
Yeah, well,
Nah, he's-
There's one Big Dick
he's
Dick.
the
There's
second
one
coming
Big
of
Nick
Brett
Dick. There's
Favre,
one
man.
Big Dick Nick.
Second coming of Brett Favre. Do we need another Brett Favre?
Brett Favre.
we need more dick pics.
Poor Aaron Andrews.
All right, Chris, sing it.
Sing it.
Next game.
Beautiful. Those Cincinnati Bengals travel to Pittsburgh to take on those Steelers.
Oh, I got Bengals.
I'll tell you what, Antonio Brown's probably out this game. That's big.
Yep.
Rapist Burger is still Rapist Burger. He's a piece of shit. I'm going to have to take Pittsburgh. I hate taking Pittsburgh, but I'm taking Pittsburgh, which
know
is
what?
why I'm rooting heavy for the
The
Ravens.
Banglers play spoilers.
Yeah,
Right.
I am with Nick. The Bengals are going to spoil this party.
Honestly, God, I'm praying for that. I just don't see it happening. Chris, what do you
Nope.
got?
Steelers, and I don't really. I kind of don't like either one of the teams. I think the Bengals are an annoying ass team that needs to fire their coach.
They're dirty.
Well, yeah.
They're a
Is
dirty
that coach
team.
coming
Yeah,
back?
they're dirty
All right.
franchise.
Here's the poll. Is that coach coming back next year?
No.
No, not at all.
Was it Marv
No.
Lewis?
Yes. No.
Marvin Lewis.
Is he coming back?
Marv.
Insanity.
Insanity.
15 years. 15 years of doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's insanity. Mr. Peterson is calling the Steelers, and Miss Frazier is also calling the Steelers. Is that everybody? Did we all pick that one?
Yeah.
Next game.
Next game.
Trying to compete with Chris on that?
No,
one?
not at all. I couldn't compete with Chris. Chris is
All
a
right.
good singer. I just suck.
Those
That means two things.
I got you. Those Arizona Cardinals travel out to Seattle, take on Russell and the Seahawks.
God, this sucks.
This is easy. Seattle's sitting everybody because they've made the playoffs. They're not going to go any farther than the fifth seed.
They're still
I'm
probably
taking the
gonna-
Cardinals.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm going Cardinals.
No. The starters are at least going to play half
I
a
don't
game.
think they are.
I think so.
I don't think they are. I think Seattle's going to sit everybody.
I don't want to, but I'm going to go Seattle.
I think Mr. Peterson's starting quarterback for Seattle this game, so I'm
Nice.
picking
I'll buy a jersey.
I'm
There you
taking
go.
Cardinals.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
Mr. Peterson's taking the Hawks over the Cardinals. You're taking the Hawks. You're taking the Hawks. Chris, what do you got?
I say, let's see here, because I think Seattle, knowing what position they're in, are probably going to sit their guys. So
Is there an echo?
I don't know, because I feel like even the backups for the
turn down your
Seahawks could
radio?
beat the Cardinals.
So what do you got?
Let's
Who
go
you picking?
Cardinals anyway.
Okay. Miss Frazier agrees. Cardinals as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the final game of the next game segment of the year 2018.
Ooh.
And it's a biggie. What do you got?
Sunday night. Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Sunday.
Take a ass.
Win and you're in.
Exactly.
Win and you're in.
Big game.
Big game. those Indianapolis Colts, Frank Reich, Andrew Luck travel to Tennessee to take on Mike Nolde and those goddamn Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota, by the way.
That's
By the way.
Mr. Peterson's already going Titans over Colts. I have to disagree with that. I think the Colts come in and shock. I think Frank Reich is Coach of the Year.
I think Andrew Luck may finally do something.
Andrew Luck is a comeback player of the year. I think the Colts win this, and I think the Colts win this by at least 20.
Ooh.
I think they come in and lay us the smack us down on the Titans. Colts.
I agree with you.
I got Indy.
I have Indy.
Well, you know what? Adolf Hitler had the Third Reich, and that didn't succeed, but the Colts have Frank Reich. And Frank Reich has experience winning.
How long are you
So
going to hold on to
I
that
gotta go
one?
with the Colts.
Yeah, no, that was off the that was off the cuff, man.
I don't know. I think it was
That's
an
a beautiful thing.
That's an Uncle Donnie one, I believe.
It runs in the that gets a ding, by the way. Ding. A ding for the Reich. Yes.
Oh no! Did I joke thieve somebody? Did I joke thieve Uncle Don?
No, we're saying you got that from your uncle.
God.
It runs in the family. It's
Miss
genetic.
Frazier's also taking the Colts. Okay.
It's that Smith gene.
Yeah, that's what it is. So that is our next game segment, and it's been a great year for next game. I had a blast with it.
It was fun.
We're changing the format.
We're going to
next
change
year.
the format next
It's
year.
gonna be a little
We'll-
bit more streamlined.
We'll discuss it more as it comes closer to September. We'll let everybody know.
Give us
about
a
it.
year.
Yeah. We're going to come in. But thank you, Mr. Peterson. Thank you. Your picks are always worth it. Miss Frazier, thank you for joining in this week. Chris, thank you for making that idiot intern's picks. You did a lot better than he could have done. Although a little shit won a fantasy football championship.
He did win our.
All right. Before we close, we must discuss. Well, we don't must, but we should
We
discuss
should.
college football.
Why?
Because the playoffs start tomorrow night. Playoffs. We got the number 1 seed Alabama.
Bama.
Roll Tide. To go against the number 4 seed Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
And the number 2 seed Clemson goes against number 3 seed
Boo.
Notre Dame.
Boo. Let's go Clemson.
But there, in college football radio, there's a lot of suspensions going around.
Really?
There's a lot of suspensions. I know at least 2 from Alabama, 1 from Clemson, I think 1 from Oklahoma. Notre Dame, they're clean, but that's touchdown Jesus. Even if they were dirty, you'd never know it. So, Happy New Year's to you, Miss Frazier. Thank you. Clemson lost their big defensive interior lineman, Mr. Lawrence. I don't remember his first name. That's terrible. I should know it.
Sure.
But I don't think that's going to matter. I think Clemson's going to roll over Notre Dame probably by 21 points, maybe even more.
Good.
Which sucks to say, but I just don't think Notre Dame is in their class.
No. I think the Irish have one good game in them.
Rematch?
We want that rematch.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
We want that Alabama Notre Dame.
Roll Tide.
rematch.
You really want that?
Yes.
Because you know it's going to be a shitty
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
No,
it's not.
no,
it's going to be a
not.
great game.
No,
it's
no.
not. It's not. You know Alabama's probably going to beat them by 60.
You know
So
they already...
how's that a good
60?
game?
That's close.
Yeah.
You want a 120.
Wouldn't you rather see Alabama, Clemson, 1 versus 2, the 2 best teams in college football?
You do realize they already know who's going to win the championship, right?
Yeah, you do, but you still want to see a good game.
I'm just saying.
I
So it don't really
understand.
matter.
It does to me, because even though Alabama's going to win it, we all know this. Nick Saban's bought the title. It's
Right.
already signed, sealed, delivered. I still think Clemson can give them a better game than Notre Dame can.
Sure.
True or false?
Probably. I agree.
But you're both picking Notre Dame to beat Clemson.
Yes.
Jerks.
Yeah, sure.
You guys suck. Alabama, like I said, has some suspensions as well.
Yeah. What'd they do? Did they bang some cheerleaders? What happened? No, this was some social media
This
stuff.
This is social media. This is
This is
millennial
nothing-
territory. This
yeah.
is social media. Someone's danger got in a little gruff. So
Right.
They're
At
sitting
least
there.
there weren't any
somebody's-
shower shenanigans going on.
Right. I didn't know, Chris, you're still on the line. Thanks for still
Jeez.
being here, Chris. I
You
appreciate
never,
it.
you never
somebody-
let him go.
Hold on
I
a second.
didn't even know. But
Hold
go
on.
ahead.
Somebody got triggered? Is that what happened? There was a
I
trigger
guess-
warning that was hit?
I'm guessing another song's coming.
Probably, yeah. Hold on. So Chris, do you think that Notre Dame is a great pretender? Ladies and gentlemen, Snakes and Vultures, Chris Trader.
Chris, how much fucking money you giving us this week? Holy shit!
Listen to this sweet melodic voice of my nephew here.
Waiting.
Yep.
I don't. Oh my God! What?
Ladies and gentlemen, Snakes and Vultures. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Copyright infringement coming.
Oh boy, get it off. Get it off. Get it off.
Get it off.
Take it out. Take it out. Take it out.
Take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Okay.
All right.
As you can see, the wheels are falling off the joy buzzer now.
Yeah.
That was not my nephew and his super awesome band. That was Slash and Miles.
Someone I hear every fucking time
On
sit
the
in
ride
this
home.
car. I'd have rather heard Chris.
Oh, thank you.
See, I like you sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes.
Sometimes that's
I'm sorry,
a pretty liberal use of that word.
That's the best I can give you.
He flipped a coin in here. You didn't see it.
So Sean, you would say that you are eternally alone in loving Chris Trainer and Snakes and Vultures?
What the hell?
Now that was definitely a shoehorn in there.
Turn it down for a second. Mr. Peterson just sent in. I have a prediction that in 2019, the premier Philly sports podcast is going to be the Joy Buzzer. All new heights for TJB. Happy New Year, everyone. Mr. Peterson, thank you, buddy.
Oh, TJB.
We'll only be that good if you keep chiming in too. We need you. Thank you. And
Spread
Mr.
the
Peterson,
word.
A very happy New Year's to you too, my friend. Very happy New Year.
I like that.
That's awesome. TJB.
I like that.
TJB.
TJB. That's it going through 2019. TJB.
TJB.
I like that. TJB.
That's awesome.
TJB 2019.
There you go.
We're getting the T-shirts made.
I got a guy.
We're a T-shirt.
Yeah, I got a guy.
We'll be eternally alone on the #1 spot in podcasting. TJB. Drop it, Chris.
I think it's time to wrap up this, this show.
I think we finished talking about college football a little prematurely, but that's okay.
Oh, no. What else do you want to bring? You want to bring up Temple's loss?
Oh, God. The guy broke a record by throwing like 6 touchdowns against them, or 5 touchdowns. Temple got their ass whooped after being up by 17 points. Duke scored about 45 in a row.
Nice.
And then got their ass
Duke.
kicked.
Duke has a football team?
Yeah, not a football school.
Nope.
I just learned something today.
Yet their football team just winning there.
Well, that's all right, because Penn State Tuesday plays Kentucky. Penn State, Kentucky.
Unbelievable.
And football. Who gives a shit?
Just March?
Just take them to the showers.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Jerry's there waiting.
Which one? I mean,
hey now.
What are the Penn State fans called anyway? Like, do they have a name?
Yes, Penn Staters.
Yeah. Wide
I
cheeks.
thought it was something clever because like how the Union, the wonderful soccer team here, they have the Sons of Ben. So I was thinking maybe that Penn State had the Sons of Sandusky.
I see what you did there.
Hey, Chris, that sucked.
I know.
I can't lie to you, buddy. That sucked.
Hold on a second. I'm taking back all those things and giving you a buzz.
On that note.
Hold on a second. You'll still get to those. That's for you, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Mr.
I have to
Peterson.
bomb at some point.
Mr. Peterson, I know another Philly team who can blow a 17-point lead. Oh, man. One more thing, baseball-wise, Machado and Bryce Harper both said they'd rather play for the Yankees than the Phillies. We knew that.
Duh.
Nothing new.
Duh.
Yeah, but we all know. I'm telling you, Bryce Harper will be in Dodger blue
Okay.
next year.
And Machado will be in Yankee
Yankee stripes. Yep.
Okay. That is our final show,
End
final
of
segment
year.
of 2018.
Hell yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been a great year.
Been fun.
Absolutely.
It's been a roller coaster because we didn't start here, but we're going to finish here.
We started from the bottom. Now we're here.
We started on a little somewhere in some little town, Bodunk town, with some
Gunshots in the background.
Right.
some jerk off.
And a hooker
And
Wawa.
now, and now,
And a hooker Wawa.
and a
the
hooker
hooker Wawa. I forgot about the
Hooker
hooker
Wawa
Wawa.
was probably the best thing to come out of that town. And now we're at the
You can
heights
say it, Westville.
of you.
What's the matter, Nick?
It was a fun year,
Do you live
boys.
in Westville?
It was a fun
Do
year.
you live in Westville?
No, I don't.
Then who gives a shit?
It was a fun year.
It was a fun year.
The Joy Buzzer is rolling.
Jerk-offs and mouth hugs and nipples everywhere. It was a
What the
beautiful.
hell's going on?
And was it cock knocker whiskey, whatever the fuck it was?
Oh, nasty, nasty, nasty. And now we're finishing here at the beautiful Connecticut School
We're at
Broadcasting.
the height,
and
the pinnacle.
on top of Cherry Hill.
And again,
We're not at the height. We're building.
No, yeah, we're just
We're
scratching
not
the
there yet.
surface.
we're building. Eternally alone, we're building up to that #1 spot.
Thank you for a fun year, Mr. Peterson. Chris, thank you very much, buddy, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me, guys.
Anytime.
Chris, you're welcome to call anytime. We will be live again next week, buddy, so give us a call.
And what's the name of that site to get the music from again?
Yeah, one more time.
Bandcamp.
And it's Snakes and Vultures, right?
Snakes and Vultures.
Awesome.
Mr. Peterson, we're live next week, buddy. Nikki
Thank
Cola.
you very much, Chris. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for a great job.
Fun.
This is Nikki's show,
Hell yeah.
right?
It is.
Sure.
Instigator Rob C.
Thank you. This show will cut.
Are we praying?
Ah, God.
Love you, Nick. More of that next year
Oh, yeah.
on TJP.
Love it. On behalf of the Joy Buzzer, I want to wish everybody out there a Happy New Year.
Go crazy, folks.
I am the commish. This was the Joy Buzzer.
So long, farewell, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. I'd like to stay and taste my first champagne. Yes?
No. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. I leave and heave a sigh and say goodbye.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long.